123 miles from Ottawa sits the pristine city of Montreal and the artificial island of Ile Notre Dame, where once upon a time somebody decided it would be a great idea to build a racetrack, and what an idea that was. Welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix, round number 4 of season 7 in the Formula PlayStation League. JT comes into the night 10 points clear in the championship race, but as I return to the commentary box, Vapor Trench returned to the top step of the podium for the first time in 12 races last time out. The Dutch Grand Prix in Zandvoort. Good evening to you all. Trench made a much needed week. Will he build on that victory? Will JT win again? Will TDB win again? Or will we have a fourth different winner of season 7? Thanks to you all for watching once again. Let me know in the comments your pick for the victory here tonight in the Canadian Grand Prix. Not such a popular track, I've noticed, amongst a lot of the drivers in the Discord chat, but hopefully as this 18-minute qualifying session gets underway, we'll see some exciting action between the 18 drivers that we have joining us at the start of tonight's entertainment. Out on the track has come Vapor Canoe, and it's it was a really disappointing result for him in the Netherlands, running well midway through the race, but in the end crashing out of the Grand Prix. His first non-finish of the season, only his second non-finish in the last 2 seasons as well, so always a consistent performer, which is why it was such a surprise to see him make that mistake. But just goes to show a lapse of concentration, particularly around the kind of circuit that we were at last week, can cost you an awful lot. First few drivers then coming round to begin those first flying laps, and Bazooka Joe has retired from the session already, so I'm not sure what's happened to him in the hat, but he's already gone off somewhere, I believe, and ended up putting himself out of qualifying. So 2 minutes in, it's been the worst possible start for Bazooka Joe. He's not going to set a lap time in the Canadian Grand Prix qualifying, which will put him right down towards the back of the order. That's an awful start for Bazooka Joe. Yet to out-qualify a teammate this season. Cobalt and Morgan both out-qualifying him. Towards Kane comes to a fairly short circuit as he hurtles now down towards turn 10. The tricky hairpin where the exit just looks a little bit wider than it really is. Gets it short to third gear. Really, really good exit there from Vapor Canoe, as he brings that car over the DRS line and down towards the final chicane, which will lead him right past the Wall of Champions, which has claimed various victims in the past. Vapor Canoe, a 2-time champion in the Formula PlayStation League, invalidates his lap time as he goes over the curb a little bit too much for the game's liking, and Vapor Cobalt has gone quickest with the first lap time of the session, 1 minute 8.9. And he was one of the drivers, by the way, that was just commenting on how bad he thinks Canada is. That might be because he's American, who knows, but Red Sniper Eye, a brilliant 4th place finish for Renault as a reserve driver last time out, and 1 minute 9.4 is the lap time that puts him second. Elliot sits in behind him, 1 minute 10.6, so too slower than Red Sniper Eye as he invalidates this lap as well, so clearly he can do better than that. Vapor Canoe invalidating this lap as well. There's Vapor Matt for Ferrari. 3 points finishes for the first 3 races. Consistent from him. No podiums just yet. Round the final corner. It's a really good run. It's a dogged exit. He looks to collect the back end, but it's a really, really nice job there. P4 though. 1 minute 22.1. So clearly, despite those bit of driving out of the final chicane, clearly lost the time earlier on in the lap. There's Benjamin in the Alfa Romeo, who I think is, it looks as though he's just, backed out of this lap, so not going to be setting a lap time this time around. JT, the championship leader, has gone out on an out lap. And TRT James in the pits. We've heard his name an awful lot. Red Sniper Eye scored Renault's first points of season 7 last time out. Benjamin actually goes P2, I mean at 9.3, so he hadn't backed out of the lap. I don't know what I was saying. But TRT James, an awful start. 3 non-finishes for the first 3 races of this season, as Harrison goes over the grass, comes up towards the line and goes P3, 1 minute 9.4 from him. Vapor Cobalt then still the only driver to break into the 1 minute 8 with that 1 minute 8.9, which still stands as the quickest lap time of the session so far. Vapor Trench has had one of his runs invalidated as Luke Prentice crosses the line to begin a flying lap for him in the McLaren. So too has it been a terrible start to the campaign for him. 3 non-finishes also. Belgium, Singapore and the Netherlands. His teammate and his brother Jack Prentice has 1 non-finish, but 2 points finishes to his name, so he's faring slightly better than the McLaren. He's on a lap behind the Mercedes also out there, as Jack Prentice does now start his first flying lap of the session. 6 drivers then have 10 lap times so far, as Luke Prentice invalidates his lap time and goes into the wall as well in the McLaren. So he'll need a front nose change, and that's a frustrating moment for him. His Bando bit is he's not far behind that bit of the circuit as he hurtles down towards turn 10. Luke Prentice cuts across the lovely green grass at turn 10 to avoid getting out, to avoid getting in Bando Biz's way. Bando Biz promoted from Division 2 to replace Ralkio, who didn't fare any better whatsoever for Renault in these first 3 races of the season, as Bando Biz cuts the chicane and has to just start another lap and try to go again. Of course, I think one of the issues tends to be not wanting to hit the wall, so a bit too early for that first part of the chicane. 1 minute 14.0 from JT, so clearly an error on his lap. Lord Lab, who outraced his teammate Vapor Canoe for the first time last week in the Netherlands, comes across the line to go P5, 1 minute 9.6 from him in the Williams car. By the looks of it, set a couple third sector as well. 7/10 of a second away from Vapor Cobalt, formerly of Williams, before now the Haas team for season 7. This is 1 minute 8.9. Has him out front at the moment. Tex Vendel then comes across the line to start the flying lap in the Mercedes. 2 points finishes so far for him in the 2 races he has competed in. Unfortunately for him, the race last time in the Netherlands, and hasn't really had the luck, or the results, I should say, not luck, results that his teammate Trench has had. Trench, of course, coming off the back of that victory in the Netherlands. His first podium of the season, he generally looks a lot quicker than Tex Vendel has. However, Tex Vendel's performances so far in Division 1 have been consistent, particularly when you consider that he has just been drafted into Division 1 from Division 2, so it is a vast step up for him. And scoring points in that Mercedes, certainly not the worst return we've ever seen in the Formula PlayStation League. Buttons back sadly for him last season. Just really struggled to score points in the Mercedes 4 non-finishes, only 2 points finishes. So Tex Vendel's already scored that, and his Mercedes predecessor, as he comes up to the line in the Mercedes car and goes P5, displaces Lord Alam, and Vapor Canoe displaces Cobalt to go P1. 1 minute 7.8 from him. He's gone on to a set of soft tyres from the mediums, and look at the difference that has made to his lap time. Over 1 second quicker than Vapor Cobalt. And Canoe here with an excellent lap time, seeking what would be his 3rd pole position of the season so far. JT taking pole last time out in the Netherlands, but unable to convert that pole position into victory, as Tex Vendel goes off just to let some drivers through. Backed out of his lap then by the looks of it, and that is the end of that one for him. TRT James, Vapor Trench and Luke Prentice all on runs, but James has had his lap invalidated. Vapor Trench has not. He's just making his way up towards the chicane of turns 8 and 9. I've just noticed right at... Oh, and there's a racing point in the barrier. Is that TDB? No, it's not. So it's the other racing point then of Elian. So Elian has just absolutely smashed his car out of the session. What an awful accident for him. I'm not even sure how he managed that on the exit of turn 9, but that's him in the wall. His lap time before was just good enough for P7. But sends his car flipping into the barrier. Vapor Matt, 1 minute 8.8 from him. Oh, as Trench goes in the wall as well. Loses the back end on the exit of the final chicane. It wasn't the Wall of Champions that caught him out. It was the exit curb that did for him. And it sends his car spinning and slewing off into the barrier and out of qualifying. And the race winner from the Netherlands will not be setting a lap in Canada. And it is, well, 0 to 0 really for Vapor Trench. That stunning victory last week, followed by an awful mistake in qualifying. That's going to result in him not setting a lap. So Bazooka Joe and Vapor Trench, neither of those two have set lap times. Neither of those two will set lap times in qualifying. I was going to say that Trench said hello. And he's just said goodbye to qualifying in Canada. So, a horrible moment for him, a horrible moment just before that for Elian as well. Just spinning that racing point into the barrier, sending it flying up into the air. As we watch Bando Biz down towards the final chicane. Likes of him, Carwin Robb, Luke Prentice, TDB, all yet to start in qualifying. Bando Biz goes second, 1 minute 8.2. He came into Division 1 with inherent pace, and we've seen that just there from Division 2. Excellent lap there from Bando Biz. And then into the top 3. So Vapor Matt in the Ferrari displaced. And for the time being, just sent down to P3. But certainly for him, not a bad qualifying so far, as he looks to build on his lap so far. Jack Prentice was looking to do the same, but he's backed out of his lap. Harrison there has had his so he's not going to be improving. And Red Sniper right into P4 as JT goes P2 for Romeo. 1 minute 7.9 from him, so the second driver to break into the 1 minute 7s, and less than a tenth of a second behind the Williams of Vapor Canoe. So the provisional pole sitter continues to remain in P1 as JT launches the Alfa Romeo up into second place, but as of yet, Vapor Canoe yet to be displaced out in front. As we go on board with the other Williams of Florida Lamb. One Williams in P1, one of them in P7, in towards turn 8. Now brings it through 9. And then down towards the hairpin of turn 10. And Northern Lamb is backed out of this lap and will not be improving this time around. So the top 10 Vapor Canoe leads so far. JT in P2, Bando Biz currently in third place, having just been displaced by JT. That was running in second place before Biz and JT both with him. Red Sniper Eye in P5, an impressive first couple of outings for him by the looks of it. As Vapor Coma was in P1 a few minutes ago, is in P6, Rotterdam P7, Benjamin in 8th place. Luke Prentice P9 and Jack Prentice in P10. So the two McLarens, those two Prentice brothers running 9th and 10th at the moment. Here's Vapor Canoe around the final chicane. Oh, as he loses the back end, does so well to catch it. Manages to avoid making the same mistake that Trench does, but in so doing has been unable to improve, was 2/10 slower, and without that mistake, that was probably around about 2/10 of a second that he lost collecting the back end. So that's a frustrating mistake right at the end of the lap there for Vapor Canoe to deny himself the chance of extending his advantage out front. Red Sniper Eye in the Alpha Tauri has gone back up to the track in the Renault last time. Will not be adding to Renault's points tally this time, or hopefully for him, getting to Alpha Tauri's run of form. Bando Biz flying the flag for Renault at the moment. And TRT James is down in P13, 1 minute 9.5 for him. James walked into the PlayStation League Division 1 last season as a reserve, won the Singapore Grand Prix, also took a pole position as well in Season 6. But so far in Season 7, no luck for that Williams driver, Renault driver so far. But hopefully for him, we'll start to see that luck turn around, especially because, as a result, really unlucky start to the season. Right the way down the order and in serious danger of being relegated come the end of the season. With 8 rounds left of Season 7, including this one here in Montreal, as Kex brings his Mercedes into turn 10, has to fight the back end on the exit. It's looking like a pretty good run so far as he opens up the DRS rear wing and flies now down towards that final chicane. So we've seen a few drivers have lapped invalidated. We've seen Vapor Trench go into the wall. We've seen Vapor Canute lose the back end and have to compromise his lap time, but it's a good run, smooth run through there for Kex Vendel. Currently P12, now P10, 1 minute 9.1 as Carwin Robb retires from the session. So no lap time for him, which means that Carwin Robb, Vapor Trench and Bazooka Joe, all of them will start the race down towards the back of the grid. TDB in the Racing Point is still in the pits meanwhile. So this has been a bit of a strange qualifying session. This, a couple of the usual front runners are going to be starting down towards the back. Carwin Robb and Vapor Trench, 2 surprise ones. Bazooka Joe, always a serious contender for some very good points, and at the moment, he'll be starting the race P17. Bando Biz has a 5-place grid penalty, meanwhile, for illegal blocking. So Renault's luck this season doesn't get any better. Vapor Cobart's position in qualifying does get better, however, he's into P4, 1 minute 8.6. So Bando Biz at the minute then is set to fall down to 8th place. Now Ralphio also got a penalty a couple of rounds ago in Singapore in the Renault. It's just a Renault thing this season. It's just not falling for them at any race they go to. Oh, it's into the wall that goes Luke Prentice. Luke Prentice flying into the barrier on the exit of turn 4. It's another driver crashing out of this Grand Prix. And this time it's the Luke Prentice with 3 DNFs and now has crashed out of qualifying. So, at the minute, for him, he will, of course, not improve the 1 minute 9.3. He can only go backwards from here. I suspect that he might be or looking to improve on their respective lap times. Vapor Canute and JT are both out at his benefit. Oh, it's a cannot see get a break this season. James spinning on the exit of turn 4, exactly where Luke Prentice just spun into the wall a few moments ago. And Bando Biz with a 5-second penalty. TRT James in the barrier in the Renault as he clips the wall again while spinning back round. What a shocking week, what a shocking race week once again here for Renault in Division 1. So TRT James will start this race in P13 at best, because TDB is now on that lap as well. JT has just had his lap invalidated, so he's not going to take pole, which means shortly here Bando Biz is off as well in the Renault. Both Renaults crashing into the barrier at the end of qualifying. You couldn't write it. You couldn't write Renault's awful luck this season. So TRT James into the wall, Bando Biz into the wall as well. Meanwhile, here's Vapor Canute, who's just at a purple first sector in the Williams as he hugs the inside line down towards turn 8. Gets it turned in. Now a smooth run through turn 9. There is Bando Biz, stopped on the side of the circuit. He's retired from the session. In towards the hairpin comes Vapor Canute. It's a smooth run through there, really nicely done from him. It's a purple second sector as well. This is looking like a massive improvement here for the Williams driver, the current world champion, who's looking to establish his place in the title fight in Division 1 in Season 7. So far for him, has no wins on the board, a couple of pole positions. He extends his run out front, 2/10 quicker than his last lap. And Vapor Canute surely here set to take pole. Harrison's gone up to P5. Vapor Mass backed out of his lap because he invalidated it. TDB then is the only one yet to set a lap, and he's spun the Racing Point. Well, that is, his run done as well in qualifying. So he'll be starting the race in P18. An awful qualifying for him. Couldn't get a lap on the board. And at the end of qualifying, well, as you can see, he's just beaching that Racing Point still goes P15 because of Carwin, Rob, Vapor Trench and Bazooka Joe not setting laps. So it's possibly one of the worst laps ever in terms of the end to it, but he still manages to get 15 out of 18 drivers. But it is Vapor Canoe on pole for the third time this season. He hasn't converted either of the first two. Can he convert this one now in Canada? He takes pole. JT in second place. Bando Biz in third, but he'll take a penalty, which will put it down to 8th place. So Cobalt will start the race in third. Harrison qualified 5th. Vapor Matt in 6th. Red Sniper Eye 7th. Benjamin in 8th, but he'll go up to 7th as a result of Bando Biz's penalty. Jack Prentice up to P9 in the end. Lord of Lamb rounds out the top 10. Luke Prentice in P11 after his. Crash Kex Vendel P12. TRT James will start the race 13th. Elian 14th. TDB 15th. Carwin Rob in 16th place. Trent 17th. Bazooka Joe. Those last three drivers failed to set lap times in qualifying. And we'll see how much progress they can make up the grid over the course of the Canadian Grand Prix. Exactly 10 different constructors then have won in Canada in the past at this circuit, I should say, at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Williams are one of them, the pole-sitting team this evening. Ferrari, Brabham, Benetton, McLaren, Renault, Red Bull, Mercedes, Ligier in there as well, and of course Sauber winning in 2008 with Robert Kubica, just 1 year as well after that horrifying crash that he had at the same circuit. So it's been a really, really great racetrack in terms of different winners. There's been 23 different race winners. Lewis Hamilton, Sebastian Vettel among them, and of course Gilles Villeneuve as well, who won the first ever race here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. That was for Ferrari in 1978, 4 years before the circuit was renamed in his honour, following that dreadful incident he had in Belgium in qualifying, which sadly took his life. No hesitation after that. His name was put straight onto the circuit. One of the most legendary names in the history of Formula One. A legendary circuit named after him. Ferrari are the most successful team here with 11 wins. Of course, that victory from Gilles Villeneuve was one of those. Sebastian Vettel with Ferrari's most recent victory here in Canada in 2018. Started on pole, and he won from pole as well, which has been done 19 times here in Canada out of the 40 races that we've had. Just the 6 wins from second place with the 15 from outside the front row. Jacques Lafitte won from 10th here in 1981, so it certainly has been proven that you can start a bit further down the order and still win this Grand Prix. Lord of Lamb, incidentally, in the Williams is in P10, with one Williams in pole position. I just wonder, will we see the other Williams on the top step? Will we see Canute convert a pole position, or will it be JT extending his championship lead further with a victory? Cobalt starting in P3 in the Haas, was leading for a little bit of the qualifying session. And what will we get in the Grand Prix? It's a little bit overcast, so it remains to be seen whether we'll get a bit of rain between now and the end of this race on lap 35. 152 kilometres race distance ahead of the 18 drivers that we have sitting on the grid. At the end of that distance and at the end of the 35 laps, who is going to come out on top? Vapor Canoe, the 2-time world champion, yet to open his account in terms of race wins in Season 7. Is he about to do so here? Round number 4, the Canadian Grand Prix is underway, and how's the start from JT? It's not about it, but Canoe with a brilliant getaway in the Williams. JT though tries to go round the outside, can't quite do it, as Harrison gets very close behind them to Cobalt, but Cobalt manages to hold on to P3. Canoe still leading, JT still right behind him. Harrison all over the back of the of the halves of Cobalt. But managing to just about stay ahead of Harrison for the time being. As behind them, there they are. Cobalt just behind JT, but the front three have all gotten away line astern off the start. With Vapor Canoe leading us away on the first lap. JT all over the back of him as they got towards turn 8. A very clean start from everyone by the notes of the Vapor Trench got to P13 off the start. So he's had a really good getaway. And meanwhile, Canute just getting a really good exit and a virtual safety car because, oh my goodness, TRT James is out again. It's another non-finish. 4 DNFs out of the first 4 races for TRT James. Renault's luck just continues to get worse and worse and worse. The problem compounds itself at the Enstone-based team. Mando Biz with a penalty in qualifying hasn't been able to make up any positions off the start, but the good news for him is that he hasn't crashed out the race. He is still P8, he is still set to score points. But the 12 points scored by Red Sniper Eye as a reserve in the Netherlands, the only points to their name, and Luke Prentice has come into the pits for a change of front wing. So I just wonder if he was involved in an incident with TRT James. Both James and Luke Prentice crashed, spinning out of qualifying at the very same corner at the chicane at turns 3 and 4. JT has a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car, so he just went for it a little bit too early. The Delta hadn't quite stayed in the green by the time he had gone for it. Yellow flag dissipating at the wrong moment, meaning that JT has picked up a penalty. Cobalt then will snipping a little bit of an opportunity behind him to climb up to second place. He is 0.4 of a second behind. Gets Vendel side by side with Jack Prentice. So McLaren and a Mercedes going side by side. McLaren using Mercedes power next season, and this is going to be a drag race between these two on the run down towards the final chicane. Who's going to come out on top? Does Jack Vendel go for the move? No, he thinks much better of it. JT comes into the pits and immediately serves that drive-through penalty. Meanwhile, with the fastest lap of the race out front. So JT's penalty is now meant that Cobart's on the P2. Harrison's up now into the podium places with Red Sniper Eye in P4, as he was at the end of the Dutch Grand Prix in the 3rd round of the season. Canute then at the end of the first sector. What a start it's been for him. Lap number 3 of 35 in Canada, and he now leads Cobalt by 2 seconds. So we've got the 2 racing points as well. Going line astern, TDB getting ahead of Elliott. Elliott crashing in qualifying. TDB setting a really scrappy lap at the end. Still getting up to P15, now up to P13. Having got a good start passing his teammate Elliott, who now puts up a penalty for exceeding track limits. So he just lost the position to his teammate as that misery compounded. Meanwhile, Bando Biz and Laura Lamb getting very, very close. Benjamin is right in front of those two. Look at how close Bando Biz is. He's right up the gearbox of Laura Lamb in front. Does he go for the move? Oh, look at Laura Lamb now on Benjamin down the inside of him. That's going to be very close. There's a little bit of contact. Benjamin loses the back end. And now is he going to lose more positions? He's lost out to Bando Biz. He's now losing out to Jack Prentice. That's not gone well at all. There for Benjamin. Colin Robb as well. Oh, Vapor Trench with him and Kex Vendel spinning round in the Mercedes. He was caught up in that battle with Carwin Robb and Vapor Trench, and he ends up spinning round and is now down to P15. So drama in the opening stages here in Canada in a race that, well, it's gone well for the front runners. But further down the field, chaos has ensued everywhere. So as a result of all that, then Bando Biz up to P7. Jack Prentice now taking 8th place with Benjamin in P9. So after that really tense battle, Benjamin losing the back end, but not losing too many positions, thankfully for him. But he is now under serious pressure from Vapor Trench. So Trench and Colin Robb are just going side by side. Ken Rendell got caught up in that battle and got spinning round. Trench now has a look down the inside, but isn't really close enough. But Benjamin's gone wide, and that's the chance, surely, for Vapor Trench. Cuts back underneath. Now look at Carwin Robb as well, because he's going to be a very interesting party towards one as Trench glides past Benjamin. Carwin Robb doesn't quite have the pace yet to catch up to the Alfa Romeo. TDB, as a result of this drama now up to P12, and he's chasing after Carwin Robb. The gap's now nearly 4 seconds out front between Vapor Canoe and Cobalt. So really great start here from Vapor Canoe. He's easily broken the DRS as we continue to follow Carwin Robb. And Benjamin's on ice skates in front of him. He can't seem to keep Alfa Romeo in a straight line. And now here comes Carwin Robb in towards turn 8. Surely goes down the inside. Yes, he does, but there's contact. Benjamin's still there. Look at TDB as well, looking very intrigued by all of this. There's a little bit of contact into turn 10. Benjamin blocks off TDB. Carwin Robb goes down the inside, eventually gets the move done. Benjamin now loses the backing, gets a massive swapper off, and TDB manages to get past him. Now the momentum's going to be with Elliott behind him, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. No, he's not. He's not quite going to be able to take advantage of all of that behind. Benjamin, a really scruffy last couple of laps for him. Now put him outside the points and down to 12th place. It's going to get worse as well because Elliott's all over him. However, Elliott has a penalty, as does Vapor Matt and Lorna Lamb as well. Luke Prentice with a penalty further down the order. He's down in P17. Make that P16. He's retired from the session. Kex Bendel's into the pit. So Luke Prentice had just got ahead of Kex Bendel, but then he crashed out of the race. So it's 4 non-finishes from 4 races for Luke Prentice, and it's 4 non-finishes from 4 races for TRT James. So Kex Bendel and Luke Prentice were just going side by side, but Luke's now out of the Grand Prix. The safety car is deployed as a result. So Vapor Canoe's brilliant lead out front has just been completely neutralised. And this surely now is going to bring out a host of pit stops from the leaders as they come round. Be greeted by the safety car. So Vapor Canoe still in, Cobalt in P2. Harrison in 3rd place in the Red Bull. Red Sniper Eye still P4. Vapor Matt in P5. Beers in 6th. Lord Lamb 7th. Jack Prentice 8th. Vapor Trench up to P9 after that woeful qualifying for him. And Carwin Robb currently rounding out the top 10 with TGV up to P11 after qualifying P15 with that lap right at the end of qualifying. So Canoe, Cobalt, Harrison, Red Sniper Eye, Vapor Trench, Vapor Matt, Bando, Biz, Lorna Lamb. Local Gio has stayed out. Jack Prentice, Carwin Robb, Benjamin, pretty much everyone into the pits. Kex Bendel has just pitted anyway after that incident that he had with Luke Prentice. That's just seen the McLaren fall out of the Grand Prix. And if you've just joined us, that's 4 non-finishes for the first 4 races for both Luke Prentice and TRT James in a season that simply could not have got much worse for those two, had they even tried to make it worse. So awful misfortune for them. JT having served his penalty for a fresh set of rubber. It's the medium yellow wall tyres on for him, as it is for everybody apart from Kex Bendel's gone for the hard. So Kex Bendel then really aiming to take those white wall tyres to the very end of the Grand Prix. Vapor Trench indeed did not. So the Mercedes then leading the Grand Prix. Mercedes in Season 5, the Constructors winning Mercedes team as they beat Red Bull to the championship right at the end at the Vietnamese Grand Prix. Trench here opting to stay out. Tyres, so clearly just wanting track position rather than a fresh set of tyres. And it just had to be the case, really, that Trench won a race that I wasn't commentating. So maybe I'm just as bad luck cursed because he crashed in qualifying. Now that I've come back, and now, of course, leading the race, but now 7.5 medium tyres as we head on to lap number 8 of 35. Pretty dramatic start then to the race. So Trench, TDB, Bazooka Joe are the only drivers who are yet to change tyres in this Grand Prix. The first tyre change for everybody else has, of course, come from this safety car that you can see now with Mercedes next season sharing safety car duty with Aston Martin for 2021. So we'll see an Aston Martin safety car on the track at various races over the course of the 2021 Formula 1 season. Watch out for that one. Had, of course, a red safety car last season for Ferrari's 1000th race. It was still a Mercedes. Pretty cool nonetheless. So So Trench here. I just wonder what sort of strategy he's going to go for, along with TDB and Bazooka Joe. Because you would think now that they're going to go on to a set of hards in a one-stop strategy. Most of the cars of the mediums started with the softs anyway, so they'll go on to another set of mediums towards the end of the race. So we'll see how that plays out strategically as the race progresses, but the safety car is in at the end of this lap. Ferrari have a stronghold over this Grand Prix because of Michael Schumacher, also the most successful driver here at the circuit, Gilles Villeneuve, with 7 victories. So Mercedes, great deal of success here since the return in 2010 after a year out of 2009. Mercedes Power has won 7 Canadian Grand Prix. Are they about to win another here as Trench goes for it? Of course, Williams and the Racing Point behind, both powered by Mercedes power units as Trench rounds the final corner. Very good exit there from TDB. Didn't quite going to be enough to get him past Vapor Canoe. Koval manages to get past Bazooka Joe. Just 2 Haas cars, I think, with a bit of synchro swimming there between those 2. And 2 positions for 4th place on the safety car restart. Red Sniper right in the AlphaTauri now right behind Bazooka Joe, with Harrison bring him, Vapor Matt and Lando Biz behind them, with Gordon Lamb still rounding up the top 10. Right behind him is McLaren and Jack Prentice as we all come through turns 6 and 7 chicane. Here comes Red Sniper Eye. Bazooka Joe's going to be forced to Red Sniper on the stream. Does he go boom? If he doesn't, we got a little bit wide. That's going to be the goal there surely for Harrison, as Harrison gets up for Tauri behind them, pressuring the Ferrari. Lando Biz going down the inside, and Vapor Matt not quite being able to do it. And Vapor Matt gives Red Sniper a bit of a punt. Nolan's helping in his quest to keep the position of Harrison, but he can't quite do it. Harrison getting ahead of the AlphaTauri, as meanwhile Vapor Trench has been passed by Vapor Canoe. Here comes Red Sniper. I know, thinks better of the move. And there is Vapor Canoe, robbing it at 11.5. So the perfect start of the Grand Prix, the perfect safety car restart now, with TDB looking to capitalise as well. Harrison and Bazooka Joe going at it. Harrison behind Bazooka Joe in 6th. There's Red Sniper Eye right behind him. Really, really good racing here in the midfield, as there is Red Sniper Eye, doesn't go for it. Vapor Matt still looking interested. Bazooka Joe's gone very wide. He's going to almost push Red Sniper Eye to the wall. Vapor Matt's got a very good exit, as has Lando Biz, but it's side by side between Joe and Red Sniper Eye as he gets past. And now Vapor Matt trying to get past him as well. He's forced off the track. Lando Biz possibly with a chance, but Vapor Matt's still there despite his exploits off the circuit. Nearly hits Bazooka Joe off the track. Now look at Lando Biz round the outside of the Haas car. Can he squeeze his Renault alongside? He certainly can. He's past him. And Bazooka Joe now down to P9. It's going to get worse because here comes Gordon Lamb as well. Bazooka Joe losing position hand over fist as Gordon Lamb flies past him. Bazooka Joe now down to 10th. Don't know the speed X numbers. Oh, Joe's got the bit wrong as well into the final corner, which is going to allow the chance now for Jack Prentice to get ahead. And Carwin Rob is there as well. Rob down the inside. Nearly hits Jack Prentice. Very, very close indeed. Still side by side between the Red Bull and the Haas. And look as well at JT in the Alfa Romeo, the championship leader. Now looking to take 12th place away from Bazooka Joe. What an epic safety car restart this has been. It's been a shocking one. And Bazooka Joe losing so many places. Of course, once the drivers get to pit, so those tyres really coming back to bite him. JT with DRS on Bazooka Joe. Oh, look at that, he's all over him. In towards turn 8. Bazooka Joe with the lock-up, JT with the superior exit and the superior grip. Carwin Rob looking to get past Jack Prentice, can't quite pull it. JT tries to go round the outside of Joe. Can he make that stick? He certainly can. Look behind as well. That's Benjamin and Elian going hammer and tong for P14 with Bendel behind them. So what an awful safety car restart for Bazooka Joe, just tumbling down the order with Benjamin now carrying him, and here he comes. Here comes the Alfa Romeo getting past the Haas, and Kex Vendel's out the session with the Mercedes. So Kex Vendel collided with Luke Prentice earlier on. That forced the McLaren on the Grand Prix, and the Mercedes is now out as well. So just the one Mercedes running in this Grand Prix. That's Vapor Trench in P2, with TDB still trying to get ahead of him. Yellow flag to the center, green, no word of a safety car or virtual safety car just yet. Here comes TDB on very fresh tyres compared to Vapor Trench, but you can see how much time he's losing. The Vapor Canoe up front as he's stuck behind the Mercedes here. Elliot's now got the head of Bazooka Joe as well. And TDB is especially concerned now, surely as well, because Kovas right behind him. It's a really poor exit out of turn 10 for TDB. Loses the back end, and here comes Kovas getting side by side with the Racing Point. And it's a drag race between those two down towards the final chicane as Kovas gets up to P3 into the podium places. He does have a penalty, however, but that on track is third place for the Haas driver. Really good run as well from Kovas, and surely here as he crosses the line to start lap 13, gets ahead of Vapor Trench. Trench is still there though with the Mercedes. He's not giving up just yet on this position, and the fact that he's fighting this so hard is a strong suggestion that Vapor Trench is making one stop, and everybody else around is making one more stop as well in this Canadian Grand Prix. And the fact that Vapor Trench is keeping hold of his position so well probably suggests to me that he's going to be in that fight for the podium come the end of the Grand Prix. It doesn't really look as though anybody other than Vapor Canoe is going to be out front come the end of this one. And Vapor Matt, look at this. All around Red Sniper, Bando Biz, all involved in this battle in front of them. Oh, it's very close to Vapor Matt's round. Vapor Matt spins in the Ferrari, getting involved with the battle, sticks his nose in. It didn't work at all. He's down to P15 and last of the current runners. As Red Sniper then leading Lord Alam and Jack Prentice, now Carwin Rob and JT getting in there. Bando Biz at the head of this battle, and we'll see if any positions change down this straight. Red Sniper getting so close to Bando Biz, not quite going for the move just yet. JT on the back of Carwin Rob into the final chicane, but can't quite find the run into them. Meanwhile, Jack Prentice and Lord Alam are going side by side. Jack down the inside, gets in front of the Williams, up into 8th place now for him, as Carwin Rob looks to take advantage of that squabble going on in front of him. And he has to be careful because of JT's presence in the Alfa Romeo right behind him. Good run though from Carwin Rob through the 3/4 chicane, and now he goes down the inside, does he on Lord Alam? Oh, it's very close. Alam is forced wide. Now he's going to try and push Carwin Rob a little bit wider than he would like. JT now getting involved in this battle as well. JT side by side with the Red Bull of Carwin Rob as he looks to go down the inside. Doesn't need to because he's already ahead of him by the time they get to the braking zone. Now on the exit of turn 9, he's got a fantastic run through there as well as he looks to close up on Lord Alam into turn 10. No, doesn't quite go for the move just yet. Was a little bit too far back, but surely a matter of time before he gets himself ahead of the Williams. Lord Alam continues to lose positions here. Jack Prentice and Red Sniper both getting past him in the space of the last lap. Vapor Matt has got the head of Bazooka Joe, who has come into the pits, so that's the reason for that one. Here comes JT as he now tries to go down the inside here of Lord Alam, and he does get ahead of him into turn 1. Meanwhile, behind them, Benjamin and Elliot going side by side again. Elliot around the outside of turn 2. Benjamin's going to have the inside, but it doesn't matter because Elliot has the drive, he has the grip, he has the acceleration out of the corner, and he has P11 in the bag now. As Carwin Rob comes into the pits for Red Bull on a set of the hard compound tyres. So that's him very probably now going to the end of the Grand Prix, lap 15 currently, going to lap 35 at this point. TDB, meanwhile, still trying to get past Vapor Trench, and the fact that he's still stuck behind him has allowed Harrison in the Red Bull to close up. This is so frustrating for TDB, and I'll tell you what, he's not really going to pass Trench anytime soon, but he's going to get past here, maybe, by Harrison, who's very, very close to the Racing Point, and Harrison is down the inside. No, he's not. Has to just back out of the move, realise that he didn't quite have the space, but it's a very, very good exit out of the final chicane for Harrison in the Red Bull, and can he this time get ahead of the Racing Point? He's gone for the move. No, can't quite pull it off just yet. All over the back of it, trying everything he can to get ahead. But the presence of Vapor Trench and the Mercedes just in front of the Racing Point is what's costing the Red Bull the chance just at the minute to get ahead of the Racing Point. So TDB Mercedes, and nobody behind him really struggling to get the move done. Once they catch up, Harrison now just being kept at bay by TDB, who knows he has to find a way past Vapor Trench otherwise. They'll both come in for their next pit stop. Trench will be on the same age tyre, so this is working so well for Vapor Trench. Is doing such a good job here. He's putting himself in line in terms of strategy. He's putting himself on terms in terms of strategy with these drivers around him. So this is a fantastic performance, this, from Vapor Trench. He's within the DRS ring as well as Cobalt in front of him in the Haas, which is doing him a world of good against TDB. TDB and Harrison both stuck now in a bit of a DRS train. The gap is 10 seconds now between Canute and Cobalt. So the Williams is checking out front. TDB's in the pits, so the racing point is quite enough of being stuck behind the Mercedes car. JT's coming to the pits, but he's picked up another penalty, this time for speeding in the pit lane. So this race simply will not fall at the moment for JT as he pulls into the Alfa Romeo pit box, and he has a change of front wing ready for him. So I suspect that's why he was speeding into the pit lane, because the front nose wouldn't really allow him to get the car stopped. So what have we got? Cobalt, Vapor Trench, Harrison, Red Sniper Eye, Jack Prentice, Lorna Lamb, Elian, Vapor Matt, Benjamin, Bazooka Joe and Carwin Rob. 11 of our 15 runners have penalties to their name here in Canada. Really interesting race this. I think that's 12 now actually. Carwin Rob with a penalty to his name as well in the Red Bull. Bando Biz, Canute, TDB will get to penalties in the Prix, just a matter of time, well I hope not. As Biz then in towards the final chicane. Currently P5 for him, so looking to bring home 10 points for the Renault team that has been bereft of them this season. Jack Prentice picks up a penalty in the McLaren, but he's right behind Red Sniper right here as he tries to pull a move round the outside. That's a brilliant pass from Jack Prentice, but Red Sniper will try to stay there in the Alpha Tauri. Jack Prentice makes sure he doesn't have the room, but Red Sniper is still there, and he's still down the inside. No, he's not, because Jack Prentice does a good job, breaks later, keeps the track position, and is up to 6th place in the McLaren after a very, very nice move indeed. Benjamin, meanwhile, has come into the pits in the Alfa Romeo. So right now it's both Alphas out of the points on lap 18 with JT and P12 and Benjamin in P15 behind him. Vapor Trench actually just gaining a couple of tenths there on Vapor Cobalt in front as TDB gets ahead of Elian. But that's the two racing points. Team orders going on there between those two. TDB climbs up into the final points playing position in 10th place, and Trench here gaining massively on Cobalt. Less than half a second now separating these two. Cobalt in the Haas, Trench in the Mercedes. And meanwhile, TDB now getting past Vapor Matt. So TDB up to P9 now. Matt down to 10th. Matt now struggling, of course, after that spin that he had a few laps ago. Putting all the way down to P15. He is now in the points, but how much longer with Elian as well, looking to catch up and pressure him. TDB with the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. After that overtake, Trench now has just fallen just under a second behind Cobalt. Harrison's hoping that Cobalt just extends that gap a little bit more so he can get Trench all on his own with DRS, but again, they're making Trench, so it's a bit of punch and counter punch between second and third place as JT and TDB pick up penalties. So now just two drivers on the 15, Vapor Canute, the race leader, and Bando Biz in the Renault in P5. These three then still in a DRS train, not able to take any advantage of each other just yet. That's a good run though from Harrison. Has he got the run this time? No, isn't quite close enough. Trench just did enough out of the final chicane to stay in front. Bando Biz is gaining these two drivers all the time as a result of this battling. Red Sniper Eye hasn't left Jack Prentice alone just yet. He's not done with 6th place after losing it a couple of laps ago. He's still pressuring Jack Prentice and still trying to take that position back. P7 trying to from JP. We have up to lap 20 then of the Canadian Grand Prix. Vapor Canoe still leading us. Vapor Canoe looking then to convert his third pole position into his first victory of the season. JT penalty in the Alfa Romeo. And meanwhile, TDB right behind Lord Lamb, but for how much longer? Because he's down the inside into turn 10 and he's got himself ahead of the Williams driver. And now, look at Lord Lamb, who's going to come back, and he's got DRS as well. Has he? No, he didn't have DRS because he was behind him in the detection zone as Harrison comes into the pits now for Red Bull. Brings it in, and it's another set of medium tyres that will take him. And lap 21 in the race on lap 25 as Jack Prentice also makes his way into the pits in the McLaren. Another set of mediums onto the car for him. It's a slow stop for him. No, it's not. The game was just lagging, as always. So Jack Prentice out in P11 at the moment, but will it stay that way? JT gets ahead. Where's Harrison? There he is. He's already out of a connection. So Harrison's 10 now for Red Bull. JT on that set of mediums for Alfa Romeo's going to the end of the race. Although Jack Prentice manages to squeeze himself back ahead of JT. Oh, JT's out! JT spins on the exit of turn 4, and the championship leader is out of the Canadian Grand Prix. Awful mistake there as Benjamin, his teammate, gets ahead of him. And JT, who came into round 4 leading the championship by 10 points, has crashed out. Turns 3 and 4, claiming another victim. This time it's in the Grand Prix instead of just in qualifying. And it's a horrible mistake. That has, well, potentially sent this championship into a bit of a tailspin. Into the pits now comes Vapor Cobalt for Haas. Also in has come Red Sniper Eye in the Alpha Tauri. More mediums on for him as he rejoins right behind Lord Lamb, who comes into the pits for a set of the medium tyres himself. That puts him outside of the points with Jack Prentice getting ahead. And now Red Sniper Eye as well, although he's just coming to the pits. Into the exit he comes right behind Jack Prentice. So those two coming into the pits, and Jack Prentice holding on to the position that he just took off Red Sniper Eye a couple of laps ago. So 9th and 10th for those two. Harrison ahead of them in 8th place. Meanwhile, Carl Rob is all over the back of Bazooka Joe on the run up towards turn 6. Dives down the inside, gets the move done. Bazooka Joe has nothing to fight it with. And Carwin Rob then up to P12. Bazooka Joe 4th. Down to 13th position here in Canada. Biz now is 0.3 of a second behind Vapor Trench. Trench has taken those medium tyres from the very first lap of the Grand Prix all the way to now. You just wonder though, has he missed his opportunity to pit as Trench lets me go? Vapor Trench moves out of the way to let Bando Biz go. Doesn't want to fight that position. Didn't feel as though it was worth it as Harrison gets past Elian for 7th place now in the Red Bull. Red Bull driver striding in front of the racing point. And up now to a position that will earn him 6 points from the end of the previous round. Bazooka Joe picks up a penalty. Ferrari Power has picked up just the one victory since returning in 2010, and that was in that 2018 Grand Prix with Sebastian Vettel. Renault Power has 2, and that was 2 consecutive years with Sebastian Vettel in 2013, and then Daniel Ricciardo, of course, in 2014 after Mercedes issues with brakes. Grand Prix, Ricciardo's first ever victory as well in Formula 1. More retirements then for the Grand Prix. JT, Kex Vendel, Luke Prentice and TRT James out of the Grand Prix. Luke Prentice and TRT 4, Luke Prentice 4 to start season 7. In 1982 we had just 5 drivers finish the Grand Prix, and 2 of those were a lap down as well. As into the pits now comes the Renault of Bando Biz. Onto a set of the medium tyres for him, so away he goes. Where's he going to rejoin? Vapor Matt's ahead, as is Vapor Cobalt. And Cobalt very close as well to Vapor Matt in towards turn 1. Both of these cars are Ferrari powered as Matt has a little bit of a turn 2. Cobalt now looking to close in on him, but turn 3 not really much of an overtaking opportunity as Fernando Alonso learned in 2011. Bando Biz has left the session meanwhile, so hopefully he's able to rejoin. That's very close there between Cobalt and Vapor Matt. Cobalt all over the back of it. Oh, Vapor Matt spinning and flipping the barrier in the Ferrari. I think, has he lost his front wing as a result? I think he has. Yeah, he has. He's lost an end plate. That's an awful mistake for him. He did well to catch it eventually and not send it spinning completely into the barrier. But, Bando Biz has been disqualified for parking in an unsafe location. So Renault will not be scoring any points yet again. Red Sniper Eye's 4th place finish in the Netherlands will continue to be their only point of the season so far, as Harrison gets ahead of the relatively stricken Red Bull. Bando Biz has rejoined, but it doesn't matter because his car's been disqualified from the session. Awful luck for him as Vapor Trench finally comes into the pits with a set of soft tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix. So he will be looking for the fastest lap of the race so far. And of course he'll also be looking for the pace that he needs to go and get a podium finish at the end here. He's going to rejoin just in front of Jack Prentice and right behind the battle between Elian and Red Sniper Eye. And the latter there managing to get ahead of Elian, and down the inside goes Trench on the racing point and gets ahead. So Trench then with a really good start to the stint, getting ahead of Elian. Now look at Jack Prentice as well in the McLaren, looking to get alongside the racing point, looking to go down the inside and squeezing in front of Elian, who has to concede the position and fall down to 8th place here in Canada. Vapor Canute with the fastest lap, 1 minute 9.9. Vapor Trench is going to look to topple that fastest lap before too long and take the point for himself. And Vapor Canute already has the point for pole position, having taken that in qualifying earlier on. That's Bando Biz's slow-moving Renault. Vapor Trench has got the head of Red Sniper Eye, so P5 for him. Although here comes Red Sniper Eye, the AlphaTauri, trying to come back at the Mercedes, thinks better of it. The Mercedes with superior tyres and, of course, superior grip as well, as TDB gets past Red Sniper Eye. So Red Sniper Eye, there was such a poor run through turns 1 and 2, and TDB gets in front. TDB, of course, on fresh soft tyres himself, and now he's all over the back of Vapor Trench. He couldn't get past him earlier. He's given him a love tap through turn 6. And now as they exit turn 7 down towards turn 8, is this the move for TDB? Can he finally get past the Mercedes? Yes, he can! And into P4 goes TDB. He spent so long stuck behind the Mercedes earlier on in the Grand Prix. He's stuck behind him no longer. As on lap 26, he gets ahead of the Mercedes driver and now looks to chase down Harrison, who is half a second behind Vapor Cobalt in their battle for second place. Vapor Canute is putting on an absolute masterclass, the sort of which we saw from him in season 5 in his tremendous Red Bull Championship winning season. And that gap doesn't look as though it's going to be coming down at all in the final 9 laps. And this, for Vapor Canute, has been the perfect response to the non-finish that he had in the Netherlands last Tuesday night. Vapor Trench quite giving up on 4th place yet, still hanging in there within half a second of TDB. I expect that both of these two will make some pretty serious gains on Harrison, but will be making enough gains is the question. Currently just over 6 seconds separating Harrison from TDB. That gap not really coming down at the moment. If anything, it's actually going up a little bit, so that's good news for Harrison. Even better news for him if he can find his way past Cobalt. So now almost second behind him. Vapor Matt making his way back up the field after spinning not once but twice. The second one a bit of a half spin into the barrier as he looks to close in on Benjamin. Benjamin's struggling a little bit here for grip, struggling for the exit out of turn 9. Vapor Matt closing in on the run down towards turn 10, but isn't quite going to be close enough there for the move. Vapor Canute picks up a penalty for multiple warnings, but of course he has a 21-second lead now, so that's going to be fairly inconsequential come the end of the race. Here comes Matt with DRS. Benjamin's going to be a bit of a sitting duck here, down the back straight in towards the final chicane, right past into 10th place now in Canada, as into the pits comes Colin Robb in the Red Bull. So from the hards, it's a front nose change, so Colin Robb's had some drama somewhere having to change the front nose on that Red Bull. That's pushed him outside the points. It should see him in front of Bazooka Joe. No, it won't. In fact, Bazooka Joe, I think, is going to be in front of him as well. Yes, he is. So that puts Carwin Robb down to 13th and currently last of our runners in this Canadian Grand Prix, with JT, Kex Fendel, Luke Prentice, TRT Joseph, Bando Beers, all out, and Carwin Robb retiring. Carwin Robb's out of the session, so he's DNF'd. He's had enough of this race, and it's now just 12 runners here in Canada. It's a really attritional Grand Prix, this one. Harrison, meanwhile, he's fluctuating slightly, just getting within DRS range before being forced back out of it by Vapor Cobalt, who's hogging that straight line from the chicane in towards turn 1. And Harrison, at the minute, not able to find the key to getting close enough for the move for second place. Red Sniperite has gotten ahead of Jack Prentice meanwhile, so the Alpha Tauri getting back ahead of the McLaren, and it's P6 Red Sniperite down to 7th place now for Jack Prentice. So the only McLaren left in this Grand Prix, down into 7th place. Vapor Matt now up in P8. His race looked to be going horribly wrong on 2 different occasions, but making his way now back up into the points. Finish this out of 4 races to start the season. Meanwhile, Northern Lamb has got past Bazooka Joe for 11th place. That puts Bazooka Joe now down to the last of the current runners. Northern Lamb's on very fresh soft tyres as he now pursues Elliott, who would be the final points paying position. Of course, we'll wait to see what sort of an impact penalties have at the end of the race. Now 30 of 35 as we approach clutch time in the Grand Prix in terms of this battle for second place. It's not really clutch time in terms of the race win, because he's now 23 seconds out front as Jack Prentice gets past Red Sniper Eye again. So this position changing hands like a hot potato as Jack Prentice climbs back up to P6. Just imagine Red Sniper Eye will not quite be done with this position yet. Harrison just within a second of Cobalt, but can't seem to get within 6/10 of the Haas. At the minute, looks as though he's going to settle for the podium. But I tell you what, TDB is now just over